Paul. Yes. I was reading this deposit account agreement of Chase Bank, and I had worked for Washington Mutual as a financial consultant. But while I was going to court in Jefferson County for the allegations of violating the restraint provisions of a protection order and cyber stalking, yes, I stopped by the old place where I used to work there in Port Townsend, across from the co-op and Penny Saver. Yeah. Now, it could be that the employees that I worked with, John Maroc was the manager at that time, yes, and Kelly Liskey was the assistant manager. Lakshmi Love was one of the employees there, and Linda and Margot and quite a few other individuals I did work with there, yes. I stopped in there, and Chase had purchased Washington Mutual during the credit crisis. And I'm sitting here, 4th of July, doing nothing really, yes. And I look at the miscellaneous fees, yes. Legal processing, the processing of any garnishment, tax levy, or the court or administrative order against your accounts, whether or not the funds are actually paid, yes. Up to $75 per order. hmm Now, I've oftentimes mentioned certain concerns about the county issuing what's known as dissolutions of marriage. Yes. And quite possibly there could be some forgeries on those. hmm And it might be that the petitioner was Heidi Lee Budner instead of Heidi Lee Budnick. Yes. Now, I never got a copy of the dissolution of marriage. Yes. I didn't get a copy of the child support order. Poop. I don't think my wife actually provided to the court the original copy of the United Nations marriage certificate. Yeah. I did provide a photocopy of it. And there's this concern that there's a possibility of a large lawsuit, quite possibly class action lawsuit, yes, against every court of the United States that issues what's known as a court or administrative order. Yes. hmm Now, let's say you issued a dissolution of marriage, and you didn't have the actual jurisdiction of law. I had once mentioned that we had an account together at IQ Credit Union. Yes. And knowing what I know about banks and credit unions, they oftentimes have the same fees. Yes. Now, let's say mail returned unclaimed on February 13th of 2013. Yes. And I think the state of Washington was going to teach me a lesson that I'm not going to be a deadbeat dad. I will pay child support. They will garnish my wages. And they will garnish any assets that I put into the IQ credit union account. Yes. Now, this trial setting that took place, yes. Declaration of my non-biological daughter, Jessica Lee Hodges. Yes. Obviously, some bias on the part of herself for wanting her mother to receive child support. And then the proposed parenting plan that I didn't get a copy of. Yes. Child support worksheet, child support worksheet, child support worksheet. Yes. And then a motion and affidavit. Oh, declaration for a temporary order. Yes. Now, was it the same petitioner that petitioned the court for the protection order that had the contradictory statements of the prosecuting attorney on Guam that said I was going away for a long time? Yeah. I would want to know this affidavit and declaration because I don't really think I had a copy of it. Yes. Should have been a penalty of perjury if you lied about it. Oh. Now, this notice of hearing, yes, on October 5th of 2012. And then there was a settlement compensating action, yes, for December 31st of 2012 that it looks to me never happened, yes. Now, there was a declaration of mailing on 9/25 of 2012 that quite possibly somebody mailed me something, yes. And I was living at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road at that time. I just got done with a jury trial, a jury of my peers that found me not guilty. Yes. But I don't remember getting any sort of notice of the actual court hearing of, what's it called again? October 5th of 2012? Yes. Mm. But there was a temporary order, a parenting plan temporary, and temporary order of child support. Motion hearing. So, since I was living at Kingsway Foursquare Church, 1023 Kitchen Dick Road, or the private property, or some other individual that purchased it, and since you've been sending my mail there for the last 7 years, yes, I just wanted to know, was there any garnishment sent to IQ Credit Union or any other bank account? Yes. Or it involves a legal processing fee too. Now, these courts or the administrative order of the courts that garnish, they take the actual assets, whether or not the funds are actually paid. Yes. Why don't you get me all of those in every bank of the United States as well as every credit union? Yes. And any and all accounts that you can actually attach the assets of. Yes. Because my thought is when you don't protect the right to due process, and a bank feels an obligation to trust that the court actually did everything according to the requirements of the law, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue the state. Yes. I'm going to sue every state of the United States, and then I'm going to sue every bank and credit union that accepted your court or administrative orders, yes, where there was no actual due process. There was no proof of service. Yes. There was no jurisdiction of the law. Because my thought is that when you issue a court or administrative order, yes, against the individual's accounts, and you decide that you're going to take the money out of that, there could be a large amount of fraud, some misprisioning of felony,